Hi, this is Mark from All About the House, and going to swap out a ceiling fan today. Now, what I have in place, this is my replacement unit, what I have in place has been in place for the better part of 20 years. So we've got an incredible amount of use out of this, and I realize that there's a warranty I probably can leverage, but frankly, after 20 years, sometimes you just need something a little bit new. So there is a joist support in place. I'll show you that in a little bit. There's some Romex that I ran in there a long time ago that we're going to re-leverage. And the unit that we're going to basically put in will have a wireless remote and a nice built-in LED light. Won't shed a lot of light, but it will at least be something we could flick on and off when and if needed. All right, this should be pretty easy, but you know what? Let's see what happens. Okay, the old unit is down. I was going to try to video while I was doing it, but that was just a little too dangerous. You can see the bracket from the original unit is still in place. And of course the power was turned off beforehand, even though I've got the black and the white capped off. Now the only thing I can convey here, there's usually, like in my Hunter fan here, a little decorative cover, or collar, if you will. Behind that are a couple or maybe 3 set screws. You remove those set screws. Basically, the fan, in my case, was designed to sort of hinge, hang loose. You turn off the electricity, of course, before anything. And then you lift, after you disconnect the wires, you lift the ceiling fan off of the hooks. It's really designed to pivot nicely. And it all comes down in one nice piece. All right, here's the electrical box, and if you look carefully, you can see there are a couple of screws that go right into a 2x4 mounted behind it in the attic. That 2x4 is connected to 2 joists up in the attic. Now, I would go up in the attic, except for it's the middle of July here in New Jersey, and it's over 120 degrees up there because, you know, that's when ceiling fans tend to die naturally. And so what I'm going to do next is take this bracket, essentially, screw it into the support box, which is screwed into the 2x4, which is screwed into the joists, a nice strong connection, and then we'll start assembling the fan and mounting it in place. All right, fan blades assembled, looking good. Now this is the part where you essentially have to follow the manufacturer's instructions very carefully. So this is what they're calling a down rod, and there's a couple of set screws here, and a cotter pin. But essentially, you see I've routed the wires through all these various pieces. And like a little model kit, see if I could do this while videoing, you're simply going to assemble all these pieces one by one here. You know what? I give up. Hold on one second. Okay, that's better. So everything is sort of just sitting on top of each other right now. This little, I guess it's sort of like a hanger ball. In fact, I think they might actually call this a hanger ball. Is going to get mounted on here, and then it's going to be used to basically allow the unit to hang inside that hanger. All right, and seated. A little tricky to do, but not that tricky. It's kind of a good idea to have somebody to spot you if you can. But as we come down now, you can see that it's mechanically seated, but all the electrical work has to be done. So this particular unit has a wireless receiver on it. Not all of them will. But in essence, I'm basically just going to do the wiring now, knowing full and well that the unit is not going to fall out the ceiling. Okay, we are pretty much wired up. And again, I'm not showing the specifics of the wiring because it's going to vary for every unit, but clearly make sure the power is off. And I had noticed some of the comments online about having trouble stuffing all of the wires inside of this, we'll call it a cowl for sake of argument. You know, you don't need all the wiring. I mean, you can just cut off the excess. So if you're trying to stuff an awful lot of wiring into a very small volume, you don't need to. Okay, I'm going to keep calling this the cowl, but you can see now this is in place. The wiring is all concealed. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but it can happen. You can achieve it. The wiring is all concealed, but if you notice now, this can kind of rotate in this ball joint essentially freely. And hopefully that will absorb some vibration when the fan is spinning and allow things to be quieter and more efficient. We will see when we turn it on, but so far so good. Okay, the moment of truth. So let's see, let's start with the light. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's give it a low. All right, I'm just going to increase the torque. I'm going to go from low, medium to high. So here I hit medium. All right, and now we'll hit high. All right, very nice. So there you have it. Like I said, there's variation in this project. Of course, every manufacturer, every model of fan can be a little bit different. Stuff's blowing off the bed, that's a good sign. But in essence, those are the basic steps. Now I'm going to need to touch up the paint on the ceiling a little bit and clean up this room. But again, it's not quite the middle of July, it's actually July 6th today. It's still pretty darn hot out, so this is excellent. Thanks for watching.